series, it was definitely good. Like, I can see why it became a classic. It was funny at a lot of points. It was action-packed at a lot of points. The art was beautiful. I mean, I'm not even looking at I'm only looking at barely decent quality versions of these episodes, okay? That the versions that I have downloaded are not the greatest in terms of quality. If you were to have this series in its full whatever format that it was originally put out in, fucking 1080p probably, I don't fucking know, actually. It was probably more like 720 at best, but still, if you could get this in the highest quality it was originally put out in, or in a remastered version, it probably looks gorgeous. I mean, the remastered versions probably mess up the coloring a little bit. They always do. Whatever. My point is that, yeah, the art style of this show was amazing, and like, it looked good. It was funny. It was action-packed. It was great all around. And there was emotions to be had, yes. I mean, I tend not to get that emotionally invested in shows. It takes a lot to get me emotionally invested in these shows. I mean, you heard me groaning at the fucking kiss there at the end. I don't care about that shit. I mean, it's alright, but like, it's not what sucks me in, you know? Like the story with Toph and her parents, that sucks me in more than anything, because it's something that I kind of have a personal investment with, and just, yeah, it's a thing that I can get emotional over more. Sokka and Katara and their dad, that part got me a little bit. But like, a lot of the other stuff, you know, it was just kind of whatever. Even the stuff with, ironically, I mean, Zuko and his family, like, I wasn't able to really get emotionally invested in that, mainly because I wasn't able to get that emotionally attached to the characters involved there. Like, we didn't have that much time with his mom, and like, Ozai was so distant for most of the story, and Azula was just a bitch. The only time this show actually like almost made me cry was in book 2. It was after we got to Ba Sing Se. Yeah, Tales of Ba Sing Se, book 2, chapter 15. The story of Iroh and his son there. Even though like we didn't know that was what we were watching, when we got to the end there, I mean, I imagine other people figured it out more so than I did. I'm not that attentive and good at predicting stuff, but like, yeah, that almost made me cry when we got to the end there. That was just like, oh damn. And now that I've finished this series, there's a story I've been looking forward to reading that's gonna deal with something like that. So yeah, I can see why the series is as loved as it is, but it's not perfect. There are definitely some things that I would have done differently. I mean, I'm not claiming to be a master writer, but yeah, there are definitely things I would have done differently. I feel like Zuko's arc was a bit stretched. I feel like his decision to change sides probably should have come at like the end of season 2. And before you say anything back there, I don't mean during the scene where he was originally presented that choice. What I mean is that scene in particular should have taken place about halfway through season 2. Like, seriously, there's a shit ton of stuff here that you probably could have just cut out or rearranged or done differently in order to make this, like, certain parts of the story flow quicker, faster, more cohesively, like, just, yeah, like, not right now. The Day of Black Sun, I think, probably could have been the season 3 opener, honestly. Maybe. It depends. I don't fucking... Like, I'm not going to go too in-depth into it, but, like, yeah, things could have been sped up. Like, the Siege of the North, it was pretty decently cool. But again, that probably should have been, like, the middle of season 1. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but just, like, everything is interwoven really well, but, like, we didn't get enough time with certain characters. Like, I feel like the reason why they put off reforming Zuko for so long was because they just didn't know what to do with him. He was so... He just sat around and angsted and shit until the end. Other than being Aang's teacher, he didn't, or, well, sort of teacher, more like fellow partner trainee type thing, because he had to learn it too from the firebending masters. Like, Zuko didn't do much, and also, everything he taught Aang was stuff that he himself had been taught by fucking, like, Iroh and shit. So, yeah, if anything, he was just a messenger. The show overall was very oddly structured. And yeah, it's not bad. Like, I guess they were probably also constrained by, like, they had to make most of the episodes, at least, stand on their own. So that way, if kids are turning on the channels, they can just stop there and watch a random episode and not have to worry about following the plot. Whereas the older fans can worry about following the plot. But they had to make each episode stand on its own, pretty much, except for the multi-parters. And even then, like, I don't know, I mean, at what point did they start putting in the previously on Avatar? Like, I feel like that was some point during season 2. But there was definitely a point where they started doing that. And I noticed it because they weren't doing it before then. But when they at that point, like, things did start becoming a bit more interconnected. So I don't know. It's just it's weird. You know, it's really weird in that regard, because it's not like She-Ra, where there's not really anything you could cut out except maybe a couple of episodes could have been done differently, but everything just flows. You go from plot point to plot point to plot point to plot point. No pauses, no distractions. Everything happens for a reason. And then, on the opposite end of that spectrum, you have, like, MLP, where everything's episodic and, like...
Crazy.
No.
Yes.
Where everything's really disconnected and plot points don't matter until you get to the premieres or finales.
Or the movie Deadpool, for that matter.
And then you have this, which is kind of in between. It's like the producers and the network wanted it to be more like MLP stuff. Not in, like, all the regard that I'm making him apparently try a barf. But then on the opposite end of that, you have, you know, the writers and whatnot who are probably more wanting it to be like with She-Ra, where they just tell their story and get shit over with, and they have to balance that out. They have to make the episodes stand on their own, but they also have to weave in the story stuff, and it's hard, especially when you have a set number of episodes to fill, which in this case seemed to be 20, which is a weird number, because usually it's like a multiple of 13.
Yeah, and a lot of other shows are multiples of 12.
No. Gross.
They would have picked it up over there anyway.
Yeah, usually with cartoons it's 26 or 13, depending on which season you're on. And with live action shows, it's usually... well, it can vary. If you're doing like a mini-series, you usually have like 8, 10, 12, something like that. If you're doing a longer series, usually it's around 20. Maybe a couple less, maybe a few more. It depends. But yeah, usually, like, I think the most I've ever seen for a live action show is like 23 episodes per season. I would not bite into that if I were you. You are gonna burn your mouth. Like, blister burn.
Dude, I've eaten my own pizza straight out of the oven. I didn't burn my freaking... I didn't get any blisters, but I did burn a few taste buds.
There was... the way you... whatever. Anyway, so yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Good. Definitely good. Earned its place in history. Not perfect. Korra, I'll be interested to see that, because people have very strong opinions about it. They either seem to love it or hate it, so...
And you're thinking, time to find out for myself.
Pretty much, that's usually how I feel about it. Hell, even a movie like fucking Fan 4 Stick from whenever, I was just like, okay, it's probably bad, but like, yeah, I'll give it a chance, I'll watch it. The trailers...
Fan 4 Stick.
And there's where we're ending it, because I am not getting into that. But, yeah. Yeah.
Talking about the new Fantastic Four.
We don't talk about it. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Not bad.
And you are officially not allowed to talk anymore.
Fuck you. You can't stop me from talking. I have my rights.
Your rights only matter with the government. I'm a private individual.
It doesn't matter. I still have the right to speech.
No.
Yes, I do.
No.
Yes!
You really do not. That is the thing, like, nobody understands. Your rights, whether it's to free speech, religion, whatever, that's only as far as the government is concerned. Literally.
I mean, you may say I don't have a right to speak in here. Yeah, I'm just going to speak anyway. You can't stop me.
I could literally pick you up and throw you out the window. Okay, I might not actually be able to physically pick you up, but, like...
Yeah, good luck with that.
I could grab you by your ankles and go, free!
Even if you chuck me out your door, I can just come right back in.
That has a lock on it.
I'll break the lock. I will find a way back in here.
I'll throw your stuff out with you. Then you won't have to find a way back in.
The problem is, if you throw my PS4 and break it, you're buying me a brand new one, along with a new copy of Trails of Cold 3. And any other game I currently own. On this system.
You should be able to just log into on another system and
Nope.
download it all.
The problem is, I'd literally have to... Actually, I can't, because this is all saved to this system's hard drive.
Oh, well, yeah, you wouldn't have the same save files, but you'd have...
I'd literally be able to re-download every other game I have, but the problem is, I'd have to go through the whole entire process of setting up the system, downloading every single system.
Oh, boo fucking who! I've had to reset my computer like 5 times. Jesus
but
fucking
you haven't
Christ.
had to go through all the freaking updates all over again.
Yes,
and then
yes, I
else.
have. When you reset a computer to factory default, you have to let it update all over again.
Yeah, and then
it has to go through every single update. And
exactly. And
sometimes...
then that's the end of it for that set.
No. Sometimes
Before you
it
have
has
to
to
reset it again.
do multiple phases of it. And it's fucking annoying.
And not to mention when I re-download my games, I have to deal with their freaking updates as well.
Uh-huh.
And depending on the game, that can take 2 to 3 days.
Okay. Well, that's just because your games are shit in terms of how they're handled.
I'm talking about the games that are just digital.
Yeah, the way that they're handled is shitty. Because the game industry is shitty. Anyways, we are so far off topic right now, and I was trying to end this like 5 minutes ago before you pissed me off. So, yeah.
Talking about what? The Fan 4 Stick?
Anyways, yeah, Avatar. It was yeah. We're gonna check out Korra next. I hope you all enjoyed watching this
like
with
you
me.
Just said Corin.
Sure. I hope you all enjoyed watching this with me. I hope you all will stick around the channel for future stuff. Yeah. Thanks and goodbye until next time. I'm ending this. Fucking finally.
We're dying. Well, he is.